Well, this is the selection of about 30,000 back issues of comics in alphabetical order and chronological order.
You have 30,000.
Yeah. That's because I can't fit the other 10,000 that are in my basement. Can't fit them in here yet.
Wow.
So.
How do you choose?
Just basically all the Marvel and DC I put out, and some of the independents and the less sought after ones like the Archies and stuff like that. I kind of keep on the back burner, unless if somebody wants some, I tell them I can bring them in the next day.
Oh my gosh.
And they can have fun digging through boxes.
Yeah, dude, that's like a lot for one issue, but then you're like, I got it.
Exactly.
Right? And now, is some of this your own personal? I mean, this is actually all your personal collection, right? None of this is commissioned, is it?
Well, it's inventory, but technically, yes, I do own the stuff. So
right.
I have 30,000 comics in my collection, but
yeah,
actually,
but not your personal collection.
Right, my personal collection, I have probably about 400 or so of that.
You know, and they got to be choice, man, right?
Personal likes. I don't have a lot of high dollar in my personal.
Right.
It's just what I like. Same with the toys I collect.
Right.
Just because it's high dollar doesn't mean it's valuable to me.
That's true. Now, you started as a comic store and then it came to figures, or was this always like what we're looking at through the store here?
Well, the
figures
store,
and comics.
It actually started on eBay.
It did.
I got on eBay in early 1999, came up with the username Foxprowl, which is a story in itself. But I started buying stuff that I wanted from my childhood that I wasn't able to acquire through the years, and I was really focusing on Atari cartridges and Shogun Warriors.
Oh, dude. So that's how you started?
Yeah, actually, I have some back issues of Atari Age I'll show you later.
Oh, dude, really? Oh my God.
Anyway,
that's
yeah.
Awesome.
So I started looking to buy some the games and Shogun Warriors, and every day was like Christmas. I'd get like a bunch of packages in the mail every day. The mailman was Santa Claus, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized that I wanted so much stuff. There was a whole world to open up to me. So some of the higher dollar stuff, I realized I couldn't justify spending that much money on.
Sure.
So I discovered the world of lots. Oh, I can buy a lot of 10 figures, keep the 2 I want, resell the other 8, and get the 2 I want for cheaper, which turned into get the 2 I want for free, which turned into I can make a profit doing this. And most people know more about their hobbies and their passions than their jobs. So if you can do your hobby as your job, you're ahead of the game. It's
because to have a good business, you need that knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm
awesome.
passionate about what I do, and I think it really shows in my work.
Dude, it totally does. It really, really does. Now, so we have all the comics in the middle here, which I'll get all this on B-roll too. And now they're just divided by DC, Marvel. You have a lot of indie here, or is it primarily the stock, traditional Marvel, DC?
The independents are back there.
Gotcha. Oh, so we do have a section of indie.
Kind of put the best foot forward. No offense, DC fans, but Marvel seems to be the big seller, so you put them front and center.
That's true. It is, right? And then figures are really, really, and collectibles are a big deal here. And you have a really great selection. So
yeah, I actually kind of consider myself more of a toy collector's shop that carries comic books instead of a comic book store that carries figures. But we love them all here. I love them both. So.
But I agree with that. I think when I came in here, you saw, I just get excited because you have a really cool selection of really rare stuff, I think. Stuff I've never seen, And
I can tell when you get excited because your nostril twitches a little bit.
It does.
So that's a dead giveaway.
I flare. Yeah, totally, dude. And then, so now the Pops are new. That's like a new thing, right? In the industry, it's been around for about 5-6 years, or has it been around longer?
I think a little longer, but approximately that. I think Mighty Mugs were out years prior to that, but they didn't really catch on.
I don't know what a Mighty Mug is. What's a Mighty Mug?
It's kind of like similar to Pops, only they didn't catch on like these did. Yeah, we got these 4 or 5 deep.
Wow.
Quite stacked up on them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
and then now your figures, like you have famous Monsters of Filmland, right? The Universal Studio stuff. That's that's rare, right? I mean, you don't see those anywhere anymore.
And they're pretty uncommon. It's actually the horror section kind of spilled over into the Marvel DC section here, so it's a little bit of a conglomeration of stuff, but
right. Now, it's got to be tough, dude, when something comes in and you want to keep it, right? Because you're kind of borrowing it for a while until you sell it.
Well, when I get a collection, I get first dibs on it. But what I try to do is when I take something from my personal collection, I try to offset bring something back in the store.
Gotcha.
Just so my stuff at home doesn't
Well, yeah, you
accumulate
don't
too
want
much.
to blow up everywhere, right?
And I don't want to take it. It's tough because I do the drug I deal, basically.
Oh my God, we're gonna use that.
So I don't want to take from the store
Right.
too much, but sometimes you just gotta.
You have to. Yeah, there's no way. Like, it's just the nature of what you do. It's what you love, and you deserve that. And you built this. You know, you've been around for how long now?
I've been doing it as Foxprowl since 1999,
Yeah,
so about 20 years, and
yeah.
the store's been around for almost 10.
Wow. Well, you earned the right. So now, product lines. Do you exclusively represent certain product lines for the area, or?
I'm the only one probably within 25 or 30 miles that carries really any of this stuff, barring chain stores that carry, like Walmart and stuff, and GameStop that might carry current merchandise, but I have a lot of the vintage.
Right.
I do have wholesale accounts with Sideshow Collectables, NECA, Bluefin, Funko, so I get a lot of the current stuff directly.
Okay.
You know, Diamond, Hobby Link Japan, and I do buy a lot of used collections too. I get a lot of vintage stuff. I do some traveling around. I do trade shows. A lot of people bring stuff to me. I spent many years gathering a reputation
Sure.
for paying a fair amount. And there's a lot of people out there will lowball.
Yes.
You know, if it's a $20 figure, I'm not going to give you $2 for it because I figured the one person who knows their stuff,
Right.
and I lowball, they're going to go out there and tell everybody, and I'm going to get the bad reputation. So I'd rather, pay a little bit more, but
yeah.
still have them bring me more stuff.
That's a really good business principle. So now, what do we got here over here? This is your wall of figures, or do you want to talk more about this?
Well, back here, it's a little variety of, except here you have some statues, some Mezco 112s, some movie film cells, some big posters, and kind of gets down into the more stuff that's a little more low dollar in case kids grab it, like the loose figures.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that, sure.
Some books. Obviously you don't want a kid going up there grabbing a $200
Oh,
statue.
God, no. And you're in a really great location here, too. I mean, you're in a walkable...
I get a lot of traffic. Anyone coming up from New York City going to Niagara Falls, instead of going all the way up north on the thruway, you get off the 390 in Mount Morris, and it cuts probably a half hour off the route coming down Route 63.
Right.
They drive right by here.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, so this wall is just great because it's so many figures out here. And this is everything, right? This is new, old, or is this all new?
It's a mixture.
Yep.
Marvel, DC, they've got the old Toy Biz stuff and the newer Marvel Legends. And
Oh, you do, yeah.
And I try to give it some flow, like comics into Spawn, which is Spawn's kind of comics, and Spawn's kind of a little bit horror too.
Yeah,
so
crossed
what's
over.
next to the Spawn? The horror.
Right.
Kind of makes sense. A little bit of the.
So now the products that you carry, do you spin them out every once in a while? Do you take them to shows and kind of, like how does the product selection work? Like if I was to come see you at a trade show, obviously you're not bringing your whole store. So what does it change with every show depending upon what type of show it is? Or?
Yes. I did the show circuit for a number of years before I actually opened up the store. I kind of did it in different steps. Like I started doing trade shows and conventions.
Right.
I traveled out of state, did some big Doctor Who conventions and stuff. And then I started doing the little toy shows and flea markets.
Right.
And then once I got a taste for that and learned what to do and what not to do and how to do it and how not to do it,
Sure.
I set up a permanent vendor stand in the Sunday Market building at Antique World.
Okay.
I was there for a year and a half. Partnered up actually with my friend Dan Morris, who's still there, still very successful
Really?
selling, and I learned a lot from him. Actually, he helped me get me on my feet, opening a store and learning about retail.
That was really nice of them.
So he's kind of a mentor and a good friend.
Sure, that's awesome.
So, well, the biggest things, I always wanted a store, but I never had any interest in retail or business really till the eBay thing started happening, and I didn't want to just jump into a store and realize a year later, what am I doing? This isn't for me.
Sure.
So I kind of did the baby steps thing over the course of a few years, and I was at the flea market for a year. I think it was like a year and a half every Sunday,
Wow.
at like 7 in the morning.
Right.
And I play in a band too, so most Saturday nights I was out till 3, 4 in the morning.
Right.
So I figured I did a year and a half. I only missed like 2 days. One was for a toothache, and one was for like a flu or something like that. Legit excuses, no hangovers.
Right.
Well, hangovers, but I did it with the hangover.
No, yeah, you were
okay.
still going if you could.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
And once I kind of proved to myself that I did have the chutzpah, the gumption, the get up and go, what have you.
Sure.
I said, if I can do this to go sit at a flea market a lot of weeks to lose money, to
Right.
make next to nothing, I'm disciplined enough to open a store and be responsible
Sure.
and learn about business and all that. So that what kind of led to this. A year and a half of the flea market, and like I'm going big time.
Yeah, dude, and there's really, I mean, I totally hear you. So now this wall, I see we've got a great Star Wars selection.
Coming up, yeah. We have, like,
we
this
got
is like
Star
the
Trek,
random
too. Yeah, you got
Flash
sci-fi,
Gordon.
right?
And I try to stock like the weird stuff that 1 out of every 500 people get excited about. Like,
yeah, but that's what
Matrix, Sequest. Where else can you go and see Sequest figures? Most people don't care, but the ones who do, I can always tell because I hear the, oh my God, you got, so it's kind of nice to have the weird stuff. If anyone needs a Fat Albert figure and don't know where to go.
Get the frig out of here.
Come on.
So, and this is why the store's so awesome, because you're so passionate about it. It's not just about, hey, this is going to sell in 6 months. You're just going to carry it because it's cool.
Right, yeah, exactly. And stuff I enjoy. And, there's some stuff I don't cherry pick collections when people bring stuff in.
Right.
I take it all, and the crap I throw away. Every few months I donate stuff to Salvation Army.
You do?
Or
that's awesome.
Stuff that's not appropriate for the store, a little
Sure.
bit beat up packaging or stuff I have multiples of.
And you're like, So how do you acquire this?
I just, like I say, pick and choose when I buy collections and stuff. I kind of take store-appropriate stuff, goes to the store, and non-appropriate stuff, either lot out online or blow out at shows or donate.
So people bring them in just like, it's the same type of thing we were talking before. Like they'll bring them in just straight up in the package still like this. And so none of these were bought as a collection from the distributor, or some of them were.
The newer ones, yes. These came out in like the mid 95 to 98. Right. Back then I wasn't even on the internet, so.
Oh, wow.
No.
Dude, you must have people freak out. You have to. Like when they come in the store.
Oh, they love it, especially when people come in with want lists,
And you have it.
It's crazy. Sometimes, once in a while, people have like a big want list and they'll grab, like 30 Star Wars figures or a stack of comic books like this, and it's like, it's $300. And I'm like, that's a lot of money for comics. And you're like, I checked 3/4 of the stuff off my list.
Yeah.
And I have the Star Wars figures organized too for the casual fan. I get a lot of families come in, multi-generational. So if somebody's looking for an original trilogy Darth Vader, okay, is right here in the original trilogy spot. This is the Episode 1, Power of the Jedi line, Saga. It actually goes chronological.
Sure.
Revenge of the Sith. And I'm a little, not really OCD, but I have OCD tendencies, hence the alphabetical and chronological order comics. These all organized. It's just more pleasant on the eye, and it's fun setting them up like that.
Now, the original package lines there with the Chewbacca, is that that's the original card type. This is a reissue?
Yes.
That's not the same. It's way better than the ones we had when we were kids, and they're a larger scale, correct?
That was, that's the 6-inch, or the 3 3/4 inch scale, just Chewie's more.
He's way more
scaled
detailed,
proportion,
right? Yeah.
These actually, this line came out, I think, like about 5 or 6 weeks ago. It's the vintage collection, vintage line. There's so many lines, it's crazy.
They're beautiful, though. So now you have all of the Godzilla. This is a whole, is this a fetish of yours? Because this looks, I've never seen this much awesome Godzilla merchandise in one spot.
Well, I do have a vibrating Godzilla, but we won't talk about that.
Well, we could. I'll have to cut it.
Well, actually, the Godzilla is one of the specialty things that we're really known for. Because I get a lot of it imported directly from Japan.
Oh, you do?
And I try to carry everything from I have a bunch of little $5 ones, which we'll get to later.
Sure.
Up to X Plus, which actually we'll get to later. But
wow.
People have come from 3 or 4 hours away to come just to shop the Godzilla stuff here, just because of the variety. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Whatever you collect, NECA, Monster Arts, Bandai vinyls, import, any of that stuff, marmots.
Wow.
I'm the guy, G-Fan magazines, the Godzilla comics I have separated here. So it's kind of like, as my wife Joy puts it, Godzilla headquarters.
Yeah, but that's awesome. So that's your thing, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan also. I personally collect Star Wars, Godzilla, Shogun Warriors, Atari games, Kiss, and Doctor Who. Those are my personal passions.
So where did you acquire that?
Well, it's a Kyoto model kit. It's actually 68 pieces. I bought it off a gentleman in West Palm Beach, Florida, who's a professional model builder. He's published books and everything. So it's a custom assembly and paint job. 6 foot long with the tail attached. I keep the tail detached for transportability. Mm-hmm. Because I bring him to shows and stuff, and I put him up high, so I could be at a show with 100 other vendors, and people be like, Godzilla!
Yeah, he's got to draw a crowd. Yes. I remember the first time I saw that, the detail in the mouth is incredible. It's just a beautiful piece. It really is. Is this a one of a kind?
It is a model kit that was available for sale in the 90s, but this specific build is unique.
What was it, 1,000 glass, man?
Well, he's the one thing in here that's not for sale.
Yeah.
Well, everything has its price, but pretty much not for
dude,
sale.
no way. That's just a beautiful piece. And then what else we have on deck on top here? Just more
Some of the
Godzilla.
newer NECAs that came out and different versions and random assortments, some imported things and some monster arts. And
More Star Wars too over here to our left. Now it's smaller scales, right? I see. Is that correct?
These are like the newer movies, Rogue One and like the spin-offs, the standalones, and like the random little die-cast figures, keychains, deluxe, the non-standard 3 3/4 inch ones, comic 2-packs.
Gotcha.
So if somebody's looking for something specific, they don't have to dig through 500 or 600 over there. If they want a deluxe, they can come right here.
Sure. So it's good for kids. Now, in this $3.99, these are unboxed figures.
Yep. This is kind of more for army builders or kids.
Okay.
They're like $3.98 a piece, mix and match. Even there's the bin down here, like 3 for 10, 8 for 24, or a million for whatever,
Right.
Type thing. Grab armfuls, fill a bag.
All right.
And
Come on down.
And I have them again, easily separated, like the prequels, the original trilogy,
Oh,
and
you do?
then
Yeah.
more of the vintage. So if somebody is in a hurry or they're overwhelmed by this. Okay, I want vintage, so they can go to here. Yes, these are the good stuff. This is the good
This
stuff.
is like this is the vintage wines of the. And what's the highest priced piece you have in there?
Actually, most of the high dollar ones, the last 17 I have sold.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, I had a couple of really nice collections, and those I keep actually in the
they
display
sell.
case down there,
Yeah.
like the ones that are over $100.
Yeah.
But these are the standard. Like a lot of them are like $8 to $20 range.
Okay.
Basically because they've been picked through a lot. Like the really good ones
Sure,
are gone
sure.
at the moment, but there's always new collections coming in.
Right. I love the Vader mask. Is that vintage as well?
It is not.
And I see you've got the Millennium Falcon up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so cool about this place, man. And what's in the Godzilla box? Is there something in there, or is it something you have out?
It's actually the box
it's that.
thing, the Gigantic Series X Plus, Burning Godzilla.
Wow. Dude, it's got to be hard for you not to want to just buy everything all the time.
I have one of those in my personal collection.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say because that's super cool.
But it would be cool to have two. No.
So you imported. So obviously it's got the Japanese, right? So you
Yes.
imported that.
Yes.
So are you one of the only people in the country that actually physically has some of this stuff?
Well, the X Plus has gotten real popular over the last 3 years.
It has.
At the time when I was first bringing it in, probably 5 years ago or so, I was probably one of the only ones around, at least in the smaller cities, who would get it in. But it just got so popular, then Diamond started carrying it, so it became a lot more common.
Awesome. Vintage 60s, 70s stuff in here.
Exactly.
And then I see some Atari cartridges and some really neat play toy items.
Yeah, Color Forms, tin toys, and Frisbee, Slinky in the box.
Dude, the fonts. Come on, you got to color forms the fonts.
Hey.
Right?
Exactly.
That's the thing with that.
And one of the most popular items that people love are the old glasses.
Yes, dude. Were those the jelly jar glasses or?
These are, yes. But
Those are the
these
jelly
are
jars.
from Carol's. Anyone under 40 is going to watch Carol's.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And it's funny because it's one.
And the answer is, what is Carol's? It's the home of the whaler.
There you go.
Which is not going to help anybody. But
No.
the fish
Look it up.
sandwich.
Look it up. Google it. Awesome.
Yeah, these are the Gentle Giant 12-inch line. They're actually faithful reproductions of the original 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures.
Are they limited edition or?
To a certain degree, yes. Not real super limited.
But there's
like-
only probably one run.
Right, yes, exactly.
And then once they get out to the market, they're done.
They're really fun because some of them look amazing big. Like I had a low gray Ewok. It's almost disturbing. It was like a nightmare from a Mario level where it's like an Ewok should not
Just
be this
too big,
big.
right?
And then some look so amazing. Like, wow, they really nailed the sculpts. And then you get some like this.
I was just
Luke
gonna
as
say
the
that.
crocodile hunter.
What is? Yeah.
And then down here we have more statues, the Marvel zombie statues, which those are really
Very
breathtaking.
popular.
Yeah.
Wow.
The box art doesn't do them justice, but
No. And I like your little Simpsons, Family Guy. Oh yeah, Family Guy over here, not Simpsons.
giggity.
Oh, dude, where did you get the living room set? Is that a thing, or did you just find that somewhere crazy?
Nope, actually was available for retail a number of years ago.
Oh, how cool.
And it's talking interactive. It's a play environment or whatever they call it. And yeah, like graded comics, all kinds of just some imported stuff.
Wow.
Infinity Gauntlet. This is actually an old, I believe, 80s
Oh, that's
book you had to mail
cool.
away from Marvel. Yeah, and a lot of this is like 80s figures, except the Star Wars are newer, but they're divided by price point. $5, $7, and $8 ones.
Right.
And then down here we have the 80s stuff. Like normally I have a lot of He-Man figures here, but there's been a huge... And that's why I try to keep most of the loose figures behind glass too, because for my first few years I had Transformers out on shelves like this. And kids would come in, they'd transform them halfway, set them back in different spots or even back in the right spot. And I'd want the store looking nice, so I'd try to transform them back. And I could do the original ones, but the newer ones, I'll spend a half hour watching YouTube videos and I can't figure this stuff out.
Oh my God.
So that kind of became a bit of a pain to deal with, so now I keep them behind glass. But the funny thing is, like the Transformers I couldn't transform, just wait for a 6-year-old to come in, hand it to them, and they're like the whiz kid with the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
like, here you go, mister.
It's weird, right? So now more Godzilla, I see.
This is actually, I have the little Walking Dead and some random stuff, but this is more of like a NECA section. This is probably the only section in the store that's grouped by company.
Gotcha.
So it's like the Vic Rattleheads are with the music stuff, but it's like, you know, there's the Freddy versus Jason are with horror, but it's also with NECA. St. Godzilla's in its own section, plus with NECA. NECA makes the Alien and Predator. A lot of people collect just that, like multiple figures from this line. So it's a nice thing to have grouped together as in addition to have it scattered around the store.
Is it one of the lines that people almost make a point of having? They try to build that collection?
It's like they're $20 to $30 each in the range, and they have a lot of great licenses. It's the articulation and the sculpts are really great for that price point. So a lot of people just NECA. So
dude,
I try to cater.
The Godzilla versus King Kong box cover is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so well done. Tons of Star Wars puzzles, and then you've got the AT-AT.
They're all vintage puzzles.
Interceptor. God, is that a remote control?
Yes, it is. Remote control R2.
Good Lord.
Again, this is a little more loose stuff where, like, you know, kids put their paws on, they grab stuff, they're not going to hurt any of this stuff. Even if they do knock it down and break it, most of it's, you know, $8, $10, $15 range. So.
Right, and it's pretty durable because they're bigger. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is like like the whole thing's all Star Wars here. So.
Yes. This is all like the 95 and newer Star Wars treasure trove.
Wow, and that it really is a treasure trove. And do you have it categorized in a certain way, or?
For the most part, yes. Like the loose ships and vehicles up on top, and then the 12-inch figures, the 12-inch line here.
Right.
And it's kind of by box size, like kind of the episode 1 stuff's together. The cinema scenes are down here.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Here's the stuff the kids were just in. We're moving around.
Yeah. And the boxes, I didn't know they did the trio boxes down there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they come with a little background scenes in the base. Kind of a neat.
E.T. Where did you get the E.T.?
He's actually a stunt puppet, 1-to-1 replica size, official release by NECA.
Wow.
Actually, I just my band just played at Batavia Downs the other day, and I brought him up on stage. I had set him on my amp.
Dude, people must have loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Was that all over Instagram and Facebook? I'm sure.
Oh, I get a lot of pictures and a lot of comments and stuff.
Dude,
yeah,
I mean,
whenever
perfect.
we play bigger gigs, I bring ET and set him on the amp pad.
And you know, he's just the right size too, right? And it'll be nice seeing him in a club drunk on an amp.
Oh, he doesn't drink though.